Have you ever stopped for just a second and asked yourself a brutally honest question? Why is it that millions of people work hard every single day, wake up early, sacrifice their time, give decades of their life to jobs they hate, and yet somehow at the end of all that effort, they are still broke, still stressed, still living paycheck to paycheck? While a very small group of people seem to operate by completely different rules and quietly build wealth faster every single year. Think about that for a moment, because what I'm about to tell you in this video might completely change the way you look at money forever. And I need you to pay attention, because if you miss even one of these ideas, you could unknowingly spend the next 20 or 30 years repeating the exact same financial mistakes that keep most people trapped for life. And here is the scary part. Most people don't even realize it is happening to them right now. Because from the moment you were a child, you were taught a financial system designed to make you feel safe, but not rich, comfortable, but not free, obedient, but never financially independent, and almost everything society taught you about money sounds smart on the surface, but secretly keeps you stuck in the same cycle forever. Go to school, get a degree, find a stable job, work 40 years, save a little money every month. Avoid risks, trust the bank, retire old, and hope you have enough left to survive. And the reason I need you to keep watching until the end is because later in this video, I'm going to reveal the exact invisible habits that silently destroy financial freedom without people noticing. Habits that even intelligent people repeat every single day without understanding why they never move forward. And once you understand this, I promise you that your relationship with money will never be the same again. Because financial freedom is not something reserved for celebrities, billionaires, or lucky entrepreneurs. It is a game of understanding rules. And the biggest tragedy is that most people spend their entire lives playing the game without ever learning the rules. Now imagine two people earning exactly the same salary, same age, same city, same opportunities. One person retires wealthy while the other spends life drowning in debt. What caused the difference? Intelligence. No luck, no education? Not necessarily. The real difference is financial behavior. Because wealth is rarely built by income alone. It is built by understanding how money actually works in the real world. And this is where most people make their first fatal mistake. They believe earning more money will solve their financial problems. And that belief alone keeps millions trapped forever, because income does not create wealth. Systems create wealth. There are doctors making $500,000 a year who are financially stressed. And there are ordinary business owners making far less who quietly build multi-million-dollar net worth over time. Because one understands the rules while the other does not. And the uncomfortable truth is that nobody teaches these rules in school, because schools were designed to create workers, not financially free individuals. And before you get offended by that statement, look around carefully. When was the last time traditional education taught people how inflation destroys savings? How debt can secretly become a weapon against your future? How banks profit massively from your financial ignorance? How governments print money endlessly while reducing purchasing power every year? How assets and liabilities determine whether you become rich or remain broke forever? Nobody teaches these things, and because people never learn them, they continue following outdated advice passed down from generation to generation without questioning whether that advice actually works anymore. For decades, people believed saving money in a bank account was responsible behavior. But today, inflation quietly steals value from cash every single year. Meaning, while you think you are saving money safely, your purchasing power is shrinking in silence. Imagine working an entire year only to realize your money buys less than it did before. This happens constantly, and most people never even notice. And here is where things become dangerous, because financial slavery rarely looks dramatic. It doesn't happen overnight. Nobody suddenly wakes up bankrupt. Instead, it happens slowly through tiny invisible decisions repeated every day. Unnecessary subscriptions, lifestyle inflation, bad debt, impulse spending, emotional purchases, dependence on active income, refusing to learn investing, chasing status symbols, and constantly trading time for money without building ownership anywhere. And eventually decades pass and people wonder why they never escaped the cycle. But the truth is simple. Freedom was never impossible. The strategy was broken from the beginning. And I know some people watching right now are thinking this sounds extreme, Maybe you believe working hard and saving consistently is enough. Maybe you believe wealth is only possible if someone starts a company, invents something revolutionary, or gets lucky. But that belief is exactly what keeps average people average forever. Because wealthy people understand something ordinary people ignore. Money is a tool, and tools must be positioned correctly. Imagine owning the world's most advanced machine but never learning how to use it. That machine becomes useless, and money works exactly the same way. The average person sees money as something to spend. Wealthy people see money as something that produces more money. And this one shift in thinking changes everything. Because once you stop treating money as consumption fuel and start treating it like an employee working for you 24 hours a day, your financial life begins transforming permanently. And I want you to think carefully about your own life for a second. If you stopped working tomorrow, how long would your money survive without you? 1 month? 3 months? 6 months? Now compare that to financially free people whose assets continue generating income whether they wake up or sleep. And this is the exact difference between temporary income and permanent wealth. One depends on labor, while the other depends on systems. And if your entire financial life depends on your constant effort, then you do not own money. Money owns you. Because the second you stop producing labor, income stops immediately, and that is not freedom. That is dependency disguised as security. And perhaps the biggest lie modern society sold people is the idea that job stability equals safety, when in reality, depending on one paycheck is one of the riskiest financial positions anyone can have. Companies can fire employees overnight. Economies crash unexpectedly, industries disappear, automation replaces workers faster every year, and artificial intelligence is already beginning to transform jobs people assumed would exist forever. So the question becomes brutally simple. If your entire future depends on one employer, how safe are you really? Because true safety never comes from salary. It comes from ownership. Ownership of investments, ownership of businesses, ownership of assets generating income regardless of whether you show up tomorrow. And this brings us to one of the most important concepts very few people understand early enough. Freedom is not about making more money. Freedom is about reducing dependence on earned income. Because someone making $80,000 annually but needing $80,000 to survive remains trapped, while another person making $50,000 but investing aggressively into income-producing assets moves steadily toward freedom. And if this concept feels uncomfortable, good? Because growth usually begins when old beliefs start breaking apart.